Let's talk about hashtag labrum isn't real and why this got so controversial. Anyways, um, so it kind of started off as like a joke, and then I just went on TikTok today and I saw an account pop up and I screenshotted it, and it's called UCL isn't real, and it's like a 14-year-old kid who has Tommy John, and he just doesn't think it's real. So let's talk about what I meant by this. So DAC, we talk about how you have to rehab yourself to the point where you forgot that you had surgery. I've talked about why this is so difficult sometimes, but let me talk about labrum for a second. When we think about labrum surgery in baseball, I mean, you go on the internet. There's articles that say it's a death sentence in pitchers, especially. People say it's the hardest surgery to come back from statistically, right? Here's the thing, though, is that when I'm throwing, my scars are covered up. I don't even see them, right? Tommy John has a ridiculously high RTP, return to play rate. It's like 97%. That's not including, some high schoolers that botch it, or the guys who get their second TJ that just makes it a little more difficult. I know guys who get their elbow cut open and they're coming back +4 on the mound, right? But the thing is with TJ is that you get this massive orthoscopic scar ranging across your arm. You're going to look at it and see it every single day. When you're writing something, when you're throwing, when you're eating, it's kind of hard to forget that, right? But I want to talk about the importance of forgetting it and why I preach the whole labrum isn't real thing. Obviously, it's a real cartilage, and it's that donut-shaped thing in your arm, right? Obviously, tendonitis and the cuff and Tommy John and certain autoimmunes are real things. If you tell an athlete to go in the mirror and look at himself and say he's Superman, he will think he's Superman, especially if he's younger. Kids love to believe wild stuff. There was literally a study on it where people that did a Superman pose boosted in testosterone just because of placebo effect or whatever. Your brain has a lot of power. Everybody knows this. It's honestly horrifying. I don't think it's beautiful at all. I think it's horrifying. You can trick yourself. And so, DAC does it in a way where you train at such a high physical intent and rehab at such a high intent that training is easy and you forget that you ever had surgery. And it's a real thing. There were days where I would do ridiculous overhead press, or I'd lay on my arm. I'd hold 45 pounds and go into ER and IR on a strap. I'd do thousands of impulses. And I would go days forgetting that I'm even rehabbing. I would just call it like shoulder strength, velo training. I forgot that I got cut open and I was just training. I wasn't rehabbing anymore. I was just training. And I think there's excessive value in that. I think there is an extreme amount of value in training at an elite high level so that you forget. It worked for me. Now, the whole labrum isn't real thing, and I started saying it online. Some people got very upset in my comment section saying, "Oh, I can tell you it's definitely real. It hurts me. Definitely real. I'm in a sling right now. Definitely real." The fact that it has taken control of your life to the point where you have to go into my comment section and say I'm in pain. Pain sucks, by the way, but I'm not mocking them. I was in the same boat. But I'm in pain. It's definitely real. This sucks. I hate this. I need it to be over. The fact that it has taken that much control of your life is not good. You have to own it. You have to take control of it, and you have to forget about it. You have to give so few fucks that you don't even care that you had surgery. It's not even a part of you anymore. It doesn't define you. Who cares, right? So something I do with my athletes right now, before I started working with DAC, I was helping individuals rehab remotely in early stages of surgery. And I'm helping current athletes right now and before come back with return to throw, or healthy athletes, right? If they were injured, the first thing I told them to do was to delete the pictures. So, for example, when I had my 1 to 2 week post-op meeting with my surgeon, and we talked about my anchors in my arm, and he had pictures of the cartilage, and he had pictures with MRIs and stuff like that. He asked if I wanted to see. I said, no, I don't want to see. I don't care. I don't want to know what it looks like. I'm young. I'm not a surgeon. Everybody watching this is probably not a surgeon. What's that information you're gonna tell us? It's a giant bubble of black and white, and then there's like metal rings in there. They're not really metal, but they're in there, and I'm just looking at them like I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what this environment is. I don't have a scale to prove how small or big this is. I have no idea what I'm looking at. It's just confusing, and it freaks you out. And then you see that in your arm, and you see the rings tighten the cartilage, and it freaks you out, and it makes you feel in pain. It makes you start thinking like, oh my God, that's actually in there. Does that make sense? So I tell them, I had an athlete DM me the other day. I'm not working with him. He just DM'd me, and he had his pictures of his MRI report, and the anchors. He had like 10 anchors. One of the first 10 anchor kids I'd ever met online. I've met like 5 so far. Very rare. For context, I've had about probably 2,000 people DM me at this current stage of this video. And I told him to delete the pictures immediately. He didn't want to. I was like, you don't understand. That doesn't do anything for you. So here's what I deleted, right? I blew out my arm in September of 2022. I had a tripod set up. I was filming my changeups and my fastballs. And I kept the video for a few days to show my PTs, my coaches, see if they knew anything, see if they understood what was going on. And at that point, I was like, I'm deleting this shit. I don't want to see this. So one of my athletes I'm coaching right now has a back issue, some L5 problems, L3 problems. He has the video where it hurt in back squat, where it really kind of popped. And he's had it for years, 3 years. I go, delete it. He goes, why? I go, just get rid of it. I don't ever, even if you're not working with me as an athlete, if you're watching this video, if you have had a serious health injury, serious health problem, I don't want it taking over your life. I don't want you thinking about it day in and day out. I don't want you scrolling through your camera roll favorites to try and find a cute picture of your dog or your family to show somebody, and you scroll past and it's you getting cut open, right? I deleted the throwing video. I don't have an MRI, don't have an MRI report, don't have a picture of my anchors, don't have a picture straight out of post-op. I don't have a single picture of my sling right now. Put some on my Instagram, that's still there, but I don't care. I don't even look at it. It's probably archived. I just like, you have to forget. That's what you have to forget. And it's awesome because now my athletes just say, what surgery? What labrum? For me, they'll go in my comment section and respond to people and say, I never had surgery. I never had it. I mean, that 14-year-old, I don't even know who he is, and he's saying UCL isn't real. See what I'm saying? It's not a movement. It's just a new way of thinking. In the logic behind it is don't let it affect you. You have to control what you can control. You got cut open. So what? We move forward. Never happened. It's in the past. And we look forward. We just keep moving forward through it. So I hope this video gave a lot of insight into kind of how I think about my rehab with myself, with my athletes, how I intended to beat labrum surgery and did beat labrum surgery. It was by telling myself that I never needed to even beat anything. It just didn't exist to me. That's the whole point. I use it very effectively. In my questionnaires for my athletes, I use it constantly. Like, I talk to them about their injury history. I talk to them about their strengths and their weaknesses. And I notice people, depending on the surgery, one of them with the back issue talked about how passive he's become, how scared he is of re-injuring it. I see trends with how difficult the surgery can be, and then I proceed to ask them their strengths and weaknesses as a human being, not even as an athlete. I say, what are your strengths? What are your talents? What are you not good at? As a human being, not an athlete. And typically, they never even have a response that has anything to do with athleticism at this point, and it's just them belittling themselves after a terrible injury. They feel like they're a failure. They feel like they're weak. And it's something that I see, and I ask them this information because I can use it in my programming. I can see how they respond to certain things. I can give them very difficult things and challenge them mentally, not even as a physical standpoint, but to get them over that hurdle that they can basically do anything. And that's how I view the whole labrum isn't real thing as a tool when I get guys to come back from operation.